such a universal idea to get inspired by history.
I just love the idea of taking historically appropriate and era authentic paints and applying it to, modern war games or fantasy games.
Historical fiction, to me, means a specific style of painting, more realistic, maybe more muted colors. It's absolutely one of my favorite ways of painting or color choices for painting, especially for armies. So for me, having these sets out, the historical sets, gives me a broader and better palette for what I love painting.
Because so much of history has guided a lot of the lore, without history, you don't have fiction to some degree.
Having a deep fascination, interest in real history. That's where it all starts from. Having that in your head, just like, doesn't come from nowhere.
By grounding science fiction or fiction in general in real life and in history, it makes it more relatable. And when we paint miniatures, we want to relate in some way. We want to relate to the colors or the characters or the story or all of it. So this Cadian officer is painted with the American set, and these Trader Guards are painted with the British set. And down here we have the Deathcore Krieg models, and they're painted with the German set.
For this Trader Guardsman from the Warhammer 40,000 High Gothic science fiction universe, we're using dark battle dress from the British set for the core of this leader's uniform and trench coat. I wonder where they got that idea. We'll use brown tone wash from the set to apply a shade to those areas. And once dry, we'll use medium battle dress to apply our first weathered highlight, followed by light battle dress to add volume to this worn uniform. Webbing green and commando green are used to layer and highlight the armor bits before using steel to add some chipping and battle damage. With the rust effect in the set, we can make this bad boy real dirty. This historically influenced fictional mini turned out great, with the addition of beret maroon, command red, and other colors found inside the Warpaints Historical World War II British set.
Limiting yourself creates confines for creativity, in my opinion. I always used to think that having more colors was better, and it is. It's great to have options, but when you're working on a specific project, what I found is that actually using a limited palette or just a select palette really helps. And I like to say, creatives are a lot like kids. If any of you have children thrive with structure.
The advantages of picking a limited palette, like going for a specific set, challenges you to limit yourself in your color palette for a color scheme for an army. But at the same time, it also gives you the advantage of all the choices basically being made for you.
It's always a great idea to have a focus, not only in this context, but in general when you paint stuff. It's not necessarily a bad thing to only have 10 colors available, because it also makes you creative and it makes you challenge your normal approach. If you don't have 700 shades of brown, you have to figure out how to utilize the 2 browns you have the best.
Using dark olive, some washes, and the drab colors from the set, we're easily able to conjure up a compelling scheme that's unique and futuristic, but obviously inspired by history. General Commissar Patton once said, "A good plan violently executed is better than a perfect plan next week." He also said, "May God have mercy on my enemies, because I won't," and I'm pretty sure Bo said something very similar to me in our last game of 40K. No matter what setting or genre you like to paint or play, if you love painting, you'll want to try the browns in this range. Boot brown, rifle brown, and camo brown are going to find their way into a lot of hobbyists' MVP collections. Adding some of the more saturated colors from the range helped this historically rooted miniature feel right at home in the grim, dark future, and thinning down some ensign blue to wash over the coils on Patton's plasma pistol will offer a 40K friendly effect. With staple colors like matte black and matte white, a rust, metallic, fair skin tones, and a plethora of washes, 4 drab ones, and some must-have browns, you can make your World War II soldiers or 41st millennia Acadians fit the part with this American historical paint set.
You know, you look at the box sets right away, and, you know, with World War II, you can draw a lot of I mean, there's this great game out there right now that's really gaining steam. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Trench Crusade.
Trench Crusade.
Trench Crusade.
And I could think of many uses for some of the colors in this historical range for New Antioch and the Heretic Legions. Expand that to, you know, Metter's released a video using the color palette to paint a Sons of Horus, Horus Heresy 30K Marine.
We have a tendency to look at fantasy armies or sci-fi armies painted in real flashy and bright colors. I think it looks good when you tone it a bit down and make it more realistic. There's nothing wrong with having a few flashy colors, but having the toned down, realistic, relatable color schemes, I find it way more convincing when I'm painting my armies. Immediately when I saw the finished German set, I thought of Death Corps of Krieg. For me, that was an obvious choice of trying to paint some of those in that color scheme, and it just fits them so well.
Okay, that's where the Kriegers from the intro came from. Starting with a base coat of dark Feldgrau followed by a wash of brown tone, we can establish that base tone again before working in progression through the Feldgrau triad found inside the German set. Now, strap gray, what can I say? This gray is beautiful, and if John Blanche didn't already steal Ironclad gray, it could have very well ended up in one of his masterclass sets. Mixing between two different colors as your midtone is a great way to extend the potential of the colors in your set, and it offers smooth blending with ease. Finish off your details with black and metallics and weather to your little fatalistic warrior heart desires, and you have a great looking grenadier.
I think that the possibilities are endless with these sets and how you can utilize them and use the palettes that were developed alongside Dr. Bull and Thomas and the rest of our development team to apply it to whatever you have in mind. I mean, that's for me, the beauty in army painting and miniature painting is creating a theme and presenting that theme on the tabletop.
Paint accurately, or in this case inaccurately, with confidence, thanks to the tabletop gaming industry's first ever era-authentic paints. Find or order yours at your friendly local game store, preferred online retailer, and learn more about the Army Painter and our team of passionate gamers and painters and the products we make for you when you visit us at thearmypainter.com.